The pretty little Episcopal of the Trinity Church in Lenox was the scene at high noon today of one of the most notable marriages of the century. Within its ivy and jasmine-covered walls were congregated the very essence of the wealth and aristocracy of the metropolises of the country. The bride of the occasion, Miss Adele Sloane, is the daughter of William D. Sloane, who married a daughter of the late William H. Vanderbilt, while the groom, James A. Burton Jr., is himself a young Croesus. The millions of the family had been made in the great ironworks on the Hudson. It was essentially a Vanderbilt wedding, and such a gathering of the clan of that house as has never occurred before and may never occur again. Sitting on the velvet cushions in the front pews, when the soft notes of the Lohengrin wedding march began to issue from the stately organ, were Cornelius Vanderbilt, his brothers, Fred and George, the members of the McKay-Quambly family, Dr. Celia Webb, Mrs. Elliot S. Shepherd, Mrs. William H. Vanderbilt, grandmother of the bride, and the richest American widow, Mr. and Mrs. Ornay Wilson, Mrs. John Jacob Astor, Moses Taylor, a matrimonial catch whose possessions are said to put up some 40 millions. Robert Goulet, who is worth 25 million himself. Mr. and Mrs. Eldridge Gary Ogden Goulet, a particular American chum of the Prince of Wales, and the father and mother of the groom, and some 400 others of invited guests, each of whom count their wealth in the millions. It is a safe estimate that more than 1,000 millions of good American dollars are sitting in this sacred edifice, whilst the Reverend Dr. Reverend Grosvenor commenced to engage the impressive marriage services of the church. The women of the party were magnificently gowned, the bright colors of their costumes and adornments contrasting in bold relief with the immaculate linen and broadcloth of their male escorts. And appropriate setting to the scene of brilliancy was being furnished by the sun, which seeped in softly through the stained glass windows. Softly through the stained glass windows, the bride and groom were attended respectively by their parents. Little Harold was a page. Some ushers were Frederick J.R. Winthrop. He was the best man, rather, of the bride's groom. Now the bridesmaids are being mentioned. After the words were pronounced, which made the couple man and wife, they left the edifice to the strains of Mendelssohn's March. 400 covers were laid for the wedding breakfast, at which the long life and happiness of the young couple were pledged in bumpers of champagne.